Welcome back. This is going to be so much fun. Day two for the Sacred Journeys Masterclass. And if you have not watched day one, I would go back and watch that. But if you're here live and you haven't caught day one, just vibe. It's all good. I am so excited to be actually diving right into a lot today. This class is going to go as long as it needs to. If you have to leave, if you're live, you can come back and catch the replay. I not longer than 90 minutes, I would expect, but I want to go into structures and systems for your business to help you make more money with your magic, but also expand on how to facilitate transformation with all of the pieces that you need, the different elements that are required so that people can actually receive your magic. And we will have a beautiful activation with Gaia, and we'll be connecting with a future version of you who can help you really get clarity on your next right steps as a facilitator who is on the precipice of expanding into more magic, more money, more impact, more fun, more freedom, all of the things. Before we went live, I was just talking about how I get so jazzed about speaking about all of the strategic, like structure, boring stuff, as well as all the divine magic. And I love weaving them together. And if you do not have the heart on for the structures and the systems and all of that yet, you can borrow some of my belief in it because I used to hate it. And then I was like, actually, this is giving me so much of what I need that now I actually am a massive fan. And the more I lean into both the magic, the cosmic, the galactic, the etheric, and that really tangible, practical things that move the needle forward, the more obsessed I get about the divine union. We are moving out of the energy of this or that. We've done that for too long, you know? Now it's like this and that. And it can feel like paradoxes, but everything is a paradox from the highest levels of spirituality. So we've got people who are feeling energetic and expired, feeling like breaking out of some old shiz, shiza into the new, feeling good. I'm feeling fabulous. We're going to just reset the field from yesterday, and I'm going to invite you to just take a breath into your heart with me, but after doing just a little, just one breath of shaky, shaky. All right? Yes. Breathe into your heart now. Heart. Tap back in to the earth, to the cosmos. Bring your team in and make sure you expand your energy field to make enough space for all the magic from today. We did a little bit of that yesterday, and I talked about prepping the field and how we need to actually make sure our clients and students have space so that our magic is not bouncing off of them. We talked a little bit about how we need to be not just like healing at people, reading information for them. If we're ready for the next evolution of who we're working with and how much money we're making, we get to expand and amplify all of the magic we do by bringing in the integration, bringing in the ability to take people from point A to point B through a transformation. I want to talk more about that. And also, we talked about, bringing in the magic and getting Gaia to help because she is super, super helpful. I loved the writings inside of the group and like bring it on with that, where someone had said that Gaia was coming up and like being like, hey, I'm here, don't make it complicated. I was like, that is just like her. She wants to help and she's like, this can be so easy. So I love bringing her energy in. And that is one of the ways that you can hold more transformation, support your clients more deeply. It's bringing the magical support from Gaia and the Luminous team for you first and from the divine energies. And there's so many of them that you can work with. I love teaching that. And then also teaching your clients how to do that too. So their lives become easier. So their results get better. Like, why would we not? As soon as you know you can do this and you learn, it becomes something that just becomes a natural practice because it makes everything better. It makes everything easier. So yesterday, basically, we're talking about how to hold transformation. Today, That's about the change that that brings to yourself, your life, your students, your clients, and your business. If you have not downloaded the worksheet from day one, I put a little bit more information about the shields and the nervous system and gave a few resources as well that you can use that are meditations to get your energy aligned and connected to the divine. So make sure you grab that and download it if you haven't already. And I also teach people how to use those practices and the meditations more deeply inside the certification. Also, don't forget, if you are watching this when we are doing it live, there are prizes, and the people who win the prizes are literally the ones who just participate, who just show up. And right now, someone who consistently shows up and does the work is already kicking everybody's butt and getting the points for the prizes. So you have a week. We're gonna do the prize draw in 1 week from today, next Thursday. So take your time, but don't take too long and get on it. So we're gonna dive right in now. The work that will bring you to the next level is to become a really embodied facilitator of transformation who can bridge the gap between your spiritual mastery and all of your modalities and all the cool stuff that you can do and bringing people from that point A to point B, the facilitator of the transformation with all of the integration necessary and the practical business stuff. So we're going to talk about all of it. You are so good at what you do. I really want to acknowledge that. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And yet, as we mentioned yesterday, an hour is not enough of your time to actually get people to be stable and solid and secure enough in the new things that you're sharing with them that will allow them to basically be stable enough that if things are stressful, that they don't reinstall the old patterns and programs. Because when people are like conscious and aligned, it can be like, yeah, I'm this new version of me. But if it's not completely reintegrated or integrated into their nervous system, into their identity, into their emotions, into their physicality, into their actions, the second stuff gets hard, the old programs come back and then change is not actually like sticking. I want you to have magic that changes lives, that sticks for people and helps them embody it. And then you get to embody that too. So I'm going to share with you a little bit later the 5 essential elements that you need to be working with in order to facilitate that depth of transformation and make your magic stick in a way that changes lives and gets your clients to recommend you to other people, gets you the most magical testimonials, gets you all of the stuff that like will increase your income, right? And gives you the confidence to know that you indeed can take people on these journeys. And without a doubt, if you're talking to the right person, right? Because your work's not for everybody, but if you're talking to the right person, you've got the structures and the templates and the systems and the confidence and clarity you need to be like, I can help you with this. Not do it for them, but give them the tools to do it themselves. This is how you ethically make more money, right? Taking them beyond the experience of an hour with you that makes them feel better or have a breakthrough or get some new information, but bringing them into that stable, newly evolved expression of the potential that they know has always been inside them, that they desire, right? When we have the ability to anchor in that transformation and facilitate it, then we're creating this value. And the value is what is going to make you more money because you can actually do 3 things, right? One is you can offer higher value offerings. You can have longer term journeys to work with you that clients will pay more money for because it's getting them what they want. People pay more money for the things that they want versus just an hour of your time. They don't really want an hour of your time to do a modality. That's like a nice to have. But if you can offer a transformation that they desire and your clients and what they desire is going to depend on, your expertise, your modalities, all of those things. But if you can give them something that they are desiring, you can charge more money and people will happily pay it. And the 3 main categories that people pay for, just so you know, are health, wealth, and relationships, and also personal development, intuitive development, things like that. But if you can frame the intuitive development, the healing, all of that to improve their health or their wealth or their relationships, which is the actual outcome when people are in their most embodied, evolved state, then that is where so much magic happens in terms of just being able to speak to it in your business. So, you have higher value offers that you can do, and we'll talk about different kinds of offers in a little bit, but also the marketing gets easier, right? Marketing is usually the hardest part for people who are in the spiritual transformational space. Um, we sell the process as opposed to the outcome. And that is a habit that I want to break everybody that works with me of. And that's what we work inside the certification as well, because nobody really cares about an hour of Reiki. They want whatever is going to make them feel better. They want that thing. And when you can speak to the transformation and you can stand behind it and you can articulate it, then people are like, oh my gosh, yes, shut up and take my money. That's exactly what I want. And when you have the skill set to do that thing because you know how to do the transformation, you have this confidence that comes across, right? And the ethics of this pricing are that the results are tangible and really valuable to the people, right? You don't have to work harder to make more money. You need to work in this way that is creating the transformation in a holistic way that sticks, right? You get to become that person that can facilitate that depth of change. So, how do you do that? How can you be the person who can facilitate that level of change? There's probably a million ways to do it. Let me tell you how I do it and what I teach because it is magical AF because we work with grounded systems, structures, and templates, as well as the divine magic, right? Not everybody does it in the way that I do it, but we're gonna go into it because like I love what I do so much that I become more and more and more obsessed over time instead of less obsessed. And also, you want to make more money in your business, the confidence and a level of obsession with what you do because you know how good it is and how good it works instead of sitting in the doubt of like, I don't know if I can get them the results that they want that's going to change their lives. That is a huge game changer. So I want everybody to have the structures and systems and the confidence and the clarity and the skill set to be able to be like, yeah, I can take you to point A to point B. That's what you want. That's what we're going to do. And here's the two main sort of structures that I have used. Number one is what I call the evolutionary alchemy process, that is also a modality that I teach and that I certify people in, but it's got three parts. One is transforming the density. We have to get rid of all of the stuff that's in the way of people actually accessing the truth of who they are and their power and their light and their voice and all of their magic, right? So it's transforming the shit. Remember, shit was the word of the day yesterday. It's going to continue. And turning that shit into gold through that alchemical process of letting it be rocket fuel for what they want instead. We activate a divine connection then to get the divine to support, right? Their team, Gaia, creator, the energies of their soul, and all of the elements and all that is. And we get that to work with the people so that we don't have to do all the work ourselves and that they can take it beyond what we could possibly do from ourselves. And then we help them and hold space for them and ask really good questions to help the process along, channel through the new frequencies, right? The new frequency is like, what do they want instead? We bring that into their body so they don't have to just like pretend that they know what they want. It's through the imagination, through memory, through different practices and energetics. We can literally have them experience the new frequency of what it is that they want to create in their life. So they're no longer lacking it. And then we help them take the aligned actions that help them embody it. So that's kind of like the overall scope of the coaching and the facilitation and the transformational journey that you can bring people through in a one on one experience or in a group scenario. It's this arc of get rid of the stuff that's not them, connect to the divine and the truth of who they are, bring in what they need to know, and then help them be it. So that might sound like a lot, or it might sound kind of simple. It is the process of transformation alchemy that makes everything work the entire shift. And when you bring the divine energies in, it's easier than we can imagine. But when we bring someone through and have them reach a new frequency or a new identity, we might encounter some blocks or some density or some shit that's basically in the way. Either before we can reach that new frequency that they want, or after they get to it and then they're like, "Ugh, I can't sustain this because spirit is saying I can," and then my ego trying to keep me safe is saying, absolutely not, there's no way. And the ability to identify where the blocks are and clear them, and then consciously direct the energy into what we want instead of what we don't want, is the essential piece to making sure the transformation sticks. If you are supporting someone, let's say in moving through money blocks and creating more abundance, or you could use this example with like better health or intuition, and you get that person in this clear state, and then they have an old pattern or program come up, you need to know how to work through that with them. If they have an old like experience that is stuck in their emotional field, we need to know how to clear that. If there is something that is happening where they know what they should do, but they're not taking the action, we need to know how to help them with that. Otherwise, again, you're just doing magic party tricks for people and you're not helping them integrate and embody the new energy of what it is they desire. So, in order to effectively help someone through the entire transformational process, it's got to be landing in the body, the mind, the mental realm, the heart, the emotional realm, and it's also got to be aligned with the soul energy, and it needs to have the action pieces as well. So that kind of sounds like a lot. It's 5 things. And because I work so closely with Gaia, the way that I bring this into my training, my certification, and with my students is to actually use the 5 elements as archetypal expressions of those 5 things. Because it's way easier to remember when we go, okay, the body, that's the element of earth. That's also the systems and structures. The mind, that's the element of air. The soul, that's spirit. The emotions, that's the element of water. And then the action, that's fire. Fire is transformation and action, because all transformation is action. So we work with all 5 of those elements and we get Gaia to help. But we can use the elements themselves as these tools of transformation. They will literally come in client sessions, in ceremonies, in journeys to help people just the way Gaia did in session 1, where we could use fire to illuminate something for us that we can't see. We could use water to cleanse and clear. We can use air with like to create a new focus or intention or to shift a subconscious belief system. And we can learn how to work these forces ourselves to clear and direct the energies. But the magic comes in when you actually ask them to also do the work. They are chatty, living intelligences, and the 5 of them create the field or the unified field of creation. Like without earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, nothing from the idea realm can come into tangible form and be created. So if you are working with clients and you're wanting to get them from point A to point B, you need to have these 5 things in alignment. If they've got a mental block, it's not happening. If they have a block in the physical, it won't work. If they have a block with the emotional realm of doing it, it's not going to work, etc., etc. You can work with these 5 energies that are, again, these living intelligences that are chatty as fuck and want to help, just like you can work with Gaia or guides or the divine energy to do this work for you. And you can teach your clients how to do that too. And so many of us have these very strong connection to the galactic, to the etheric, to like highfalutin spiritual words that not everybody understands. And that's fine if you're working with somebody who gets it, who's at that same level of awareness as you and has the vocabulary. But what the elements do is they help you take these very spiritual concepts that are essential to know, and we brings it into something tangible and grounded and real to people that they can use, like every metaphor that works with the physical element also works with the energetic element. So, for example, working with clients, people will be like, you have to feel your feelings. Does that mean? If you've never done it before, it's hard because it's this like concept. But when you talk to someone and you can explain it through this very tangible, I got some water in a mason jar here. Everyone knows what water is, how it works, it's got different states, etc. I can explain to my clients, if you don't actually feel the feelings, they get stuck inside your body. And what happens when water's trapped and it doesn't move? They'll be like, it gets stagnant. I'm like, yes, it starts to get swampy and nasty. And that's how these feelings that you're not letting yourself feel are like stagnating in your body and it's creating decay. Do feelings are supposed to flow. They're supposed to flow like a clear and clean river, or maybe like a storm. You know how kids will have like a storm of emotion and then they'll cry, they'll be so like they'll feel it all, but then it's just gone. That's how feelings are supposed to work. And people can put the two and two together and be like, wow, okay, so feeling the feelings, don't let them get stuck inside of me, let it flow. You've done so much inner work. You might be like, who doesn't feel their feelings? I promise you, most people, they don't know how to feel their feelings. And you might not be great at this either. Right? And that's just one example of how the elements can help you teach people all of the steps of transforming what is keeping them stuck and activating, directing consciously what we need in each realm in order to create what it is that we want to create. And so with the elements, we can work with them in this very tangible way. We can work with them etherically. Etherically, they can give us wisdom, right? Nicole's just saying many people think their feelings and confuse that with feeling their feelings. Yeah, I gave it a name, so I felt it. That's not how it works. And people aren't taught this stuff. People have been so divorced from nature, their true nature and the nature of reality and our divine connection, that when you can restore this for people and explain to them in concepts that they can understand, it is so highly transformational. The elements are looking for, and Gaia are looking for more people to be elemental wisdom keepers, to share the nature of reality with people and to help them go through life in this new way. Like they're all co creating together. And like I said, they're so chatty and they are so willing to help that even if someone has a block and they're not ready to like channel their highest self or a spirit guide or something like that, you can get them to talk to earth or fire or water or to imagine what these elements say. And I tell you, when you learn how to bring people into the open and receptive state of their nervous system, and drop those shields because they feel safe and supported. And you use these psychological and somatic practices to make people feel safe. They can connect with their imagination, which is actually the gateway to the archetypal realm where they can pull through information from elements or from their subconscious or superconscious way more easily. And you can do this in a way that lets them basically get the wisdom that they need. So you don't have to just read it for them or tell them. You empower them to know how to activate this connection themselves. And then you give them the gift of being able for the rest of their life to connect with fire when they can't see, to connect with fire when they need transformation, to connect with water when they need to know how to let it go and flow, you know, to connect with air when they need to actually like focus on something. It is the most profoundly transformational gift you can give people, right? Yeah, Nicole's saying I've helped some people in coaching sessions so deeply with the elements when they're woo curious, she's saying, but not fully brought in. One person even cleared a lifelong tick with the help of water. It was incredible. So I have this energetic modality that I is a it's a mastery path light body activation modality that goes way beyond healing. That's another certification I have called evolutionary alchemy. Some of my students are here and they can attest to how freaking magical it is. Um, I thought 3 years ago that I would eventually wind up teaching it, but I thought I would have to do it one on one with people. And they'd have to apprentice with me because there was no way I could give them all the context that they would need for that in like a group format. And a couple years ago, I was given an order by Spirit to basically put everything down in my life. It was the greatest leap of faith I ever had to take because I was heavily invested in coaching and in my business to the tune of like a lot of money. And I was barely pulling in that money at the time. It was a very big edge for me. But Spirit's like, no, don't launch the next round of your certification and don't launch that mastermind. Don't take any new one on one clients. You just need stillness. Because I had been going since the beginning of COVID when I brought my business online and hit that six figures and like everything was happening so fast and I was expanding, I was growing, I was learning, and all of that was clogging up my field. And so Spirit told me stop and didn't explain why, but I had at this point learned how to be pretty obedient to Spirit. And I just had to sit and I had to make enough space in my energy field to make room for this next thing that came in. But how it came in was actually I was teaching with the elements. And I was sitting in a class in my certification that is about taking people on transformational journeys, the ones that applications are open for soon. And we were connecting with fire in a meditation with Gaia holding us. And I was like, hey, fire, show me what it like, burn away whatever needs to go and show me what we need to know. And fire went in and was like, got rid of everything that was in the way, made more space in my energetic field, and suddenly my entire alchemical modality of this light body activation thing that I do that is really magical AF dropped in, fully formed of how I could teach it to groups. And I was like, what just happened? I wasn't looking for this, but fire brought it through for me. Fire got rid of what I didn't need, and fire illuminated what I needed to see. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, fire. Thank you so much. And the elements have showed up for me as I needed them and met me exactly where I was at every single time I have worked with them for the past 15 years when I was initiated into these teachings as a like a priestess, and I did all this work with my mentors working with the elemental forces of creation, and then I developed this relationship with Gaia. I was given the gift of being able to pass some of this on and alchemize it into my work about 5 years ago. And I've been taking people through in the transformational journey facilitator training ever since, working with Gaia and the elements to initiate people into this ability to be these elemental wisdom keepers, to restore nature's wisdom to the people that need it the most, and also just to make magic happen. It is really, really cool to work with the elements themselves. And it's just so obvious to people. It's so obvious. And they go, ah, of course. Like I have this deck of cards, 90 cards that I give to all of my coaches and facilitators. And there's like 90 cards that are all elemental wisdom teachings. When people do workshops or sessions with people and pull a card, we literally always go, and it gets ridiculous if you're in a group because each card we go, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, my kitty came to say hello. That's Helix. I don't know what he's doing in here, but he's probably going to mess with some stuff. But he's like, this is interesting. They're always perfect because the elements themselves are bringing these messages through for people. And we can just play with their wisdom, which accesses all of creation and all of transformation. And there's so much more about it. Like I could explain and teach on this for, a year straight, and I have, and I do. But when you learn how to work with these five elements and the overarching evolutionary alchemy modality and the system that it works with, this framework becomes this repeatable system to create consistent results for clients, not necessarily always exactly what they're expecting, but always what they need. Literally always what they need. You clear out the blocks of density of stuff that's not them. Help them connect to who they are and what information they need at this time from each element in each realm, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and action realms. And then they can do the thing. And you can support them in doing the things if you learn how. And then their life changes. They create, they tap into their potential. And it is just the coolest piece because you don't have to do all the work alone. You get the mystical and the magical help of Gaia and the elements, along with these actual tactical, practical pieces. Like Earth will say, like, get your house in order, declutter. You need this system in your business. That's the other cool part. When you learn this work for yourself first, because that's what I always teach people to do, then you can bring it into your business and you can create more in your business by knowing this stuff. Because again, if you're missing any of the five elements as you're building offers, as you're building businesses, as you're building out the transformational journey for people, it doesn't work. Each one of the five needs to play together, right? System creates this beautiful grounded safety, and that makes your nervous system feel safe because you are being supported divinely and practically, right? And these sacred journeys actually let us do all kinds of cool stuff. Like I said, you can bring this through one-on-one work, or you can bring this into group practices. So in order to scale your business out of that single session model where you are just booking a single session, trying to get new clients, booking a single session, maybe they'll rebook, etc., which is a freaking hamster wheel that you may or may not feel comfortable on, but eventually it gets exhausting. The other ways of building your business, like there's a million different ways, but let me tell you about ones that you can bring in that will allow you to not be trading your time for money exactly anymore. So on the one-on-one side, instead of doing those single sessions, you can create packages that take people from point A to point B, and it can have that end result that you can market to. And when you have the system of transformation that you can weave in, right? If you know earth, air, fire, water, spirit, and how to work with people and make sure they're clearing on all realms and directing on all realms, and then you add in your lived experience, um, your modalities, your life experience, you can create this package, this potent package of transformation that will guide someone through that you can ethically charge more for. So this is how you can become a higher ticket coach. Now, I'm not saying you can just start charging thousands of dollars right away, by the way. To work with me one-on-one for 6 months is about 10K. I did not start there. I have 10 years of experience coaching. I am a belief repatterning practitioner. I have been doing this work for a very long time, and I worked my way up slowly, adding and alchemizing my modalities and making sure I could get my clients the results that I wanted them to get and shifting my messaging to the person that was most available and ready to my work, right? So I started for free and then I scaled up to trading my time for money in those single sessions with different modalities. And then I put it all together in this alchemical package. And my modality was birthed through me, the evolutionary alchemy. And I still used all of the elements to make sure everything was happening. And that price increase happened when I refined my experience, when I refined my systems and my messaging and my offers. So it all feels in integrity. Now, there can be this thing where we can desire to charge high ticket and then we get into the imposter syndrome of like, I could never do that, or old money beliefs can pop up. And like, I work with that inside of my membership, the Abundant AF membership, because all my certification students need this too. Because we can have old distortions and programs around money that aren't actually ours, but were designed to keep our power from us because money is power to change the world. And that Gaia wants us to be wealthy and wants us to be abundant. But we don't want to chain or charge high ticket to people who can't afford it. Like there's none of that. It's just there are clients that I work with at that level who are ready, who are available, and for whom the lower ticket stuff actually wouldn't hit the same way. So there's a lot of conversation around doing it, but you have to have the ability, the skill set in order to be able to hold people through transformation to even think about doing it ethically. And that is what I teach inside my certifications, right? And then again, help people through their practicum go from free to paid to growing in integrity without the ick, without feeling like a bro marketer. Because trust me, I have invested high ticket with people who actually had great marketing and could not handle it. They did not know how to hold a transformation. I always got what I needed. It wasn't what I wanted. I got what I needed. There's no mistakes, but I like to teach people how to do this in a way that's actually going to feel good. But there's also the energy of not just working one on one with people and doing these programs, these classes, these things in a higher ticket way. But that is one thing you can do in your business to be ethical. You can start scaling your business and no longer trading your time for money and having limits on it when you know how to bring people through group journeys. And learning how to facilitate group journeys ethically and in integrity is also essential, because if you don't, and maybe some of you have been to group workshops or retreats where the facilitator doesn't know how and has not trained and mastered this stuff, more harm can be caused. There can be all kinds of trauma. Weird stuff can come up between people if you don't know how to set up the transformational field with the proper structures and systems, even energetically. I teach people how to get Gaia and the elements to hold the transformational field so that they're not doing all the work themselves, and so that people get what they need, and so that we work through all five of the elements. Even if you never say the word element, I do so many workshops and retreats where we never talk about the elements, but they're behind the scenes. I'm making sure people's bodies, minds, hearts. I can't actually put that fourth one without taking down my pinky. My hands don't work that way. The fourth, the soul and the actions that we're doing are all working. You don't have to be like Captain Planet and be like, let's talk about Earth now, but you can make sure you leave the body, or give the body what it needs, not leaving it behind. Working with people's nervous systems, understanding how people absorb information, having a way to focus the energy. It just takes away the ick that happens when people are managing groups with the greatest of intention because they've seen other people doing it, but they don't actually know what goes in energetically to hold it. This keeps also the like weird energies and entities and other stuff from glomming on and creating all kinds of weird interference, right? Setting up the containers safely, properly, in my opinion, in a trauma informed way is so essential for people to get what they want. And, you know, I know, again, people have the best of intentions, but I am so picky and choosy now because there's so many people out here doing this spiritual work who don't know what they're doing, and they haven't studied with someone who does, and they're just around and they create all kinds of harm from doing it, and it doesn't feel good to be in it. And I've experienced both ways. So you've probably felt this here. Um, yeah, it is really essential moving forward, I think, for us to have these facilitation skills because they're like the bare minimum, the baseline, right? I think they should be the expectation. Not everyone rises to meet the expectation, but I think it's essential. And moving forward, because people are getting more and more discerning and they've spent their money on crappy programs and crappy facilitators who don't know what they're doing, that people are going to be looking for the people who can hold the safe and sacred space that they're looking for in a way that feels good and is empowering and isn't traumatizing people. There is just so much magic available, and also so many people that have done weird things. So you can create like workshops, you can create classes, you can create full retreats. They can be in person, they can be online. This skill set allows you to walk people through the whole process and get what they need. Again, as long as you are talking to the right person. Your work isn't for everybody, and neither are you. It was fun. I had a client today saying, like, I'm ready to connect and share more with people who need to hear it. And I was just like, hey, refine this just a sec. People who are available to hear it. Can we just change that? Because not everyone's ready for the depth of work that you are ready to move into. You need to know how to talk to the people, the right people, how to call them in. And that's what we're playing with in the messaging workshop, the Sacred Pearl of Wisdom, on Saturday, if you're coming for that upgrade or if you're a student of mine. You can still join us, by the way, whether you come live or on the replay. We're going into that messaging, but that's what we also bring into the certifications. Because if you don't know how to market your business, if you don't know how to do the right messaging with the right amount of magic and frequency, as well as the systems and structures that actually work, then you can't pull the right people, magnetize them into you. And there's a whole level of inner work to make you ready to do that, to unleash and liberate your voice, and also to be able to like speak it out and share it. Like there's practical considerations, there's magical, energetic ones, and we need all of it, right? The imposter syndrome that keeps people from starting retreats or doing the workshops or launching a podcast or doing the next thing is sometimes a confidence issue. And we can work with all five elements to clear and clean that out if that is the only issue. But I tell you, sometimes it's a skill set problem, and it's just because you don't know how. This is what I love to teach people. It's like behind the scenes, the how of how 6, 7, 8 figure business owners are actually doing this work to scale their business, and also like bringing in the magical ways that we are doing it. And it gets to be available, this level of magic, this level of co-creation with spirit and bringing the tangible systems and structures forward gets to be what works for you. So I have clients that and students that have learned how to work with all of this stuff, that have gone off and used their business and marketing systems and structures and degrees and experience and become soul aligned business strategists who are working for other people, helping them share the magic and bringing it through, but bringing in this alchemy, bringing in the elements, doing all kinds of magical stuff. In fact, Radiant Soul Nicole, who is here on the replay, who is my integrator and inspiration coordinator, has taken this, and she does this in my own business and in other people's business. She brings through graphic design stuff and templates and structures by helping me channel through what is for me, because she can take the templates and the systems and structures I've taught her in this certification and turn it back around on me and help me connect with my authenticity and my truth and all of that stuff. Which is really cool. And another thing to say, when you know how to facilitate transformation in this way, where it's not just you and it's the divine working through you and on the team, you don't need to be better than or ahead of people. I can walk literally anyone who's ready and available for this process through it. They could be a fucking billionaire. They could be a celebrity. Don't care. It doesn't matter. They could be a Zen monk. They could be a master. They could be, I don't, the Queen of Sheba. It doesn't matter. I know that I can bring them to the truth of what they need. And it's not just me, right? The whole space that I hold. So you never get stuck. You never feel like you can't, because you have the tools you need to make sure that you can. Again, with the right marketing and messaging, so you're calling in the right people. Because I guarantee I could probably do something pretty fun for Grandpa Joe, who's a Vietnam vet who lost a leg in the war. We could probably have some fun together. I could if he was available to it, but he's not my ideal client, right? I don't have the depth of experience to really work with him. So bringing all of these pieces in to have the connection to the truth of who you are here to serve, and bringing through what you do and putting systems and structures that allow you to bring them from where they are to where they want to go with their soul and not their ego, right? Because all of this is about connecting people to their truth and not what they think they should be doing, but clearing all of that away so they can get to what they actually need, what they actually want from the soul level, from the heart level. Like that's also magical. To be able to take someone out of where they're dreaming from the ego and what they think they should do and what grandpa or grandma told them they should be when they grow up, and clear all of that away so that they can be completely aligned with their highest timeline and their destiny. Like, imagine being able to facilitate that for people. Imagine being able to bring that level of reconnection to the divine to them. It's so fun. It's so magical. And I have other students, I mentioned Nicole, who've brought this into like working with moms and daughters, who brought this into plant medicine ceremonies that they facilitate, who brought this into intuitive development, into human design, into working with teens and other kids. I have people who are kinesiologists. There's just this infinite expression of different ways that people can do this work, and it's magical. So there is no end to the possibilities, but it is just the most potent way of beginning and not having that confidence issue, not having that imposter syndrome, and not stopping yourself from the things that are truly on your heart to build and to share because you are afraid that you don't know how, right? All of this work to transform the density and activate the divine connection gives you what you need for your business, and then you get to share it with your clients, right? And we help inside the certifications, by the way, or inside the Transformational Journey Facilitator certification, we help you build out and design the offers and price them and launch them and do the messaging. We have business alchemy support to be able to bring your own modality and interest and life experience and wisdom and learn how to market it, right? Again, we're tapping into that on Sunday. But I would love to actually bring you through a guided visionary journey, an evolutionary alchemy experience, where we tap into your future self and get them to give you codes about what your next steps are as a healer or light worker or guide, an intuitive. And we'll probably bring through a teeny bit of elemental wisdom as well, so that you can get to know the elements' energies. Probably not all of them, they'll all be holding space, but I feel fire's just like me. Like, okay, since I was talking you up, fire, you can play with me. Oh, I love that. Nicole's like, I also bring it into my ecstatic dance classes and retreats. Yeah, I forgot about that. We also have the movement component. I teach people how to be conscious dance facilitators. So you can bring in music and movement into your classes, retreats, even your one-on-one stuff. We bring through somatic exercises. Like all of it weaves together really, really beautifully. So, yeah, as well as helping people create their brand identity and business plan. It can be applied to literally everything. Yes, thank you for for proving my point. That is exactly it. And she also said she's still so lit up about this conversation after so many years of working with the elements. Like I said, they just get better and better instead of being like, oh yeah, I'm over it. Like they still meet me where I'm at now after 15 years of deep work with them because they are the living fields of creation energy into the fractal of these five things. So if you are ready to drop in and connect with the element of fire and your future self, fire is going to show us some of the transformation that needs to happen in order to become that highest timeline future self version of you who's abundant and magical AF. Let me know. Just hit ready or type ready. I'm going to have a little bit of water before we dive in. And I'm going to adjust my seat because I've been sitting on the edge of my seat this whole morning. Hang on. I was sitting on the edge of my seat because my cat was behind me. And like I didn't want to squish him, but he wouldn't move. So I sat on like the 2 inches of my chair so that my cat wouldn't have to move because that is who I am. I'll be like, oh sorry, I don't want to disturb you, kitty. Well, then my butt hurts. Mm. Okay, people are ready. So you might want to have something with you to write on in case some good info comes through for you. And yeah, we'll see what comes through. And after the journey, you will have some really cool codes about where it is that you're heading. So I'm going to invite you to just take the opportunity to close your eyes. And I'm actually going to close my office door too, because I feel like there's going to be my child bursting in with some noise if I don't. So get yourself ready. All right, beautiful, perfect. Closing your eyes and taking a deep breath into your heart space and sighing it out. Beautiful. Take a few more of those deep breaths in, and I'm going to invite in sacred space and ask your whole team to come and create this beautiful circle around you of the energy of support that you require and desire right now to shift into an awareness of your future potential. So we're going to connect with the energy of Gaia first. And I'm going to ask you to send your roots down, just like we did yesterday, all the way into the earth. And I want you to feel with your imagination, or maybe even your body, her heart beating. And then just ask your heart to sync up with hers. Take a deep breath into that connection. And she is going to do her job of coming up through the roots and branching through your nervous system. And you might feel her flow through you nice and quickly because we did this already together. It gets faster and easier each time you do it. And that gets even more magical. And she's going to help you translate light, to help you translate all of the information that's coming through today. I'm going to also get you to think of the cosmos and the stars above you and spirit beyond that, and invite the divine love light from the infinite, all that is, down through your highest self, down through your crown, down through your heart, and into the earth. Breathe here and expand the little beam into a big beam that engulfs you. So good. Beautiful. Connecting in to your heart now. We're going to just feel it beating and give it gratitude. Gratitude brings us into coherence. Give gratitude to your team, gratitude to the all that is. And I'm going to invite you to take an elevator from your mind into your heart. Just imagine descending down and landing in your heart space. Beautiful. When the doors to the elevator open, you're going to be going into a room here that is just like this void space of pure potential where anything and everything can happen. It's the eternal now space where you can tap into the past or the future or the present moment and all of the parallel realities. I love working here. And it might feel like just blackness, but not a lonely one, a very beautiful and sacred, connected space. And the element of fire is wanting to work through you. And you might see this fire, you might just feel its warmth or imagine that it's there. And this element of fire might start underneath your feet or in front of you. Or it could even be a divine spark in your heart. We're going to ask the element of fire to burn away and transform anything that's in the way of you connecting with your highest potential as a healer, a guide, a facilitator, a coach. Whatever your path is, as a divine light, as a guide for people who want to see how it's been done before. And I'm inviting that fire to move through you, or for you to step into it, for it to burn and clear away anything that's ready to go. It's not going to burn you. The sacred fire is going to move through and help you feel the beautiful energy of that transformation, releasing the past and coming into the pure potential. So we'll take a moment in silence, and I want you to feel it moving, and you might have knowledge of what's being burned away, or you might just vibe with it and accept what it is. Beautiful. Fire is also action as well as transformation, and a lot of releasing and letting go in this season here. So fire wants to speak with you, and you're just gonna Let whatever comes through be true. Just imagine fire could talk to you so clearly. What do you need to let go of to step into this next level? Mm, beautiful. And what is one thing that you could do to connect into the possibilities of where you're headed? Mm. Now, you might not have gotten a clear message for the doing because there was a very strong message of being here. So sometimes the being and allowing yourself to be who you actually are in burning away all the things that you're not is actually the action. So being can be an action too. Rest can be an action as well. But fire is just dancing through, burning away that stuff that's not you. And fire is going to hold space and help us illuminate, but we're also just quickly going to be bringing through an energy of that future version of you, the one who is showing up and putting in the work, who has really stepped into this new role as a sacred journey facilitator. However, you've been doing that, you've expanded your role. And I want you to feel their vibe as they come forward and use your full imagination here. Can you see this future version of yourself? Can you feel them? What do they feel like? We're going to invite them to come into your energetic field so you can feel it too. And they're going to come and merge in with you, sharing their frequency. Beautiful. You might need to make more space in your energy field for them because this version of you is illuminated, connected, strong, powerful, abundant in your power, like a lighthouse for others. Feel that. Now I'm going to ask every cell of your body to calibrate to this now. You can feel it now. You don't have to wait because this is just you without all that crap in the way. And also with the growth, with the evolution, the study, the practice that you've been doing, the showing up for yourself over and over again. Feel that solid energy. Hmm, beautiful. I'm going to ask your future self to let you know, to let you know how it feels to be in this light fully. And we're going to ask them to give you one practical way that you can become them. What do you need to do on your journey? If you're not getting words, you might just be getting a transmission of being. Can you put a word to the frequency of who you get to be? What does the feeling feel like in your body? Breathe into that. Ooh, I felt that just expand you and your field even further. Nice. So while we're here, let's tune in to your connection to Gaia and to the elements. Are you going to be on your journey? Is it aligned for you as you're becoming this highest version of yourself? Supposed to be working more closely with Gaia and the elemental forces of creation. Beautiful. So tuning into next right steps. So this is coming from your highest self and most aligned timeline. Is one of your next right steps to study and practice and become a transformational journey facilitator? And just let that energy arise. Either a sacred yes or a nope, not my path. Feel power of asking and answering questions in this state. Imagine knowing how to do this with other people or for other people, to get them to be in such an open and relaxed, receptive state physiologically that they can get the answers they need almost instantly and trust that it's coming through for them. Imagine building your business from being so divinely connected that it's easy and you don't have to guess. You have all of the divine support that you need. How liberating would that be? I'm going to ask your future self to step out after you say thank you, thank you, thank you. And you send them back to their time. Ooh, and now that you are connected to them, you can ask them for advice anytime instead of like, what would Jesus do? What would my future self do? And you have this wormhole through your DNA connecting you to them now because you've done this consciously. We're going to give them gratitude. We're going to give higher gratitude and Gaia and your team. And let them just do whatever else needs to happen as we're wrapping up the energy here. And I close up sacred space, asking everything we've done today to be integrated with as much grace and ease as possible and as much speed as your human can handle. Take a big breath in, and then you can stretch. Ooh, and you can just come and land back in your body. Ooh, and blink your eyes open and have some water when you have arrived back home. That feels divine. This is how I like to spend my time. I have other modalities I can do with people. I have other ways of connecting. I have so many, from dance to belief repatterning to other energy work to coaching. But my favorite is getting people to feel it, getting people to experience that level of divine connection in their power, in their soul truth, because it makes everything better. And I love teaching people tools to do that for themselves so they can live in that divine alignment. And I also love giving them tools to share with others. So those are the two different facets of my business. I will give you magic for you. I do that in my masterminds and my membership. You can come and play and experience the magic for you. For people that are like, I want to learn how to do that too. The applications for the Transformational Journey Facilitator are open now, or right after this call. I would love to hear, either by putting it into the chat box or as some way that you could enter to win prizes, amazing prizes like a Telegram day with me, or coming into the membership for free for a year, or the 333 lumens. What came through for you on your journey? How did your future self feel? What did they share with you? You can also let me know if your next right step is becoming this elemental wisdom keeper and transformational journey facilitator with me. It's so much fun to be able to do this with other people. It is life changing for us and for them. Your homework, like I said, to win prizes, let me know how it went. But if you're here with me live, yeah, I'd love to hear. Rosie, do you want to share?
Yeah, I just had this cool feeling like I felt the words that came to me was like Earth Mama. And I'm like, I'm sure someone's taken that name already, but like I was like, I'm like gonna be like the local Earth Mama. And and what would that look like? Would that be starting like a community garden or just doing local events or, I just saw like just little family events, even because I can see this happening for even young people. They're such wise youth, and I've worked with kids a lot of my life, and I'm just curious about magical children, like I've taught so many kids, I mean, I can definitely make magic with youth, little magical journeys. And I write songs all the time. So it was just like, it just got some little ideas going, but definitely facilitating like healing sessions for moms. And um, I mean, I actually haven't given birth. So it was very interesting but I've been a stepmom. So just the fact that it was like kind of claiming myself as mother felt really good in my
Mm.
body and like what I can mother, that my creative acts are mothering. Like it just felt so grounding and I kind of felt like a tree. It was really powerful. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so
Mm.
much.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I know like you're already coming into the Transformational Journey Facilitator certification, so we get to explore and unpack that for you. And I have a student who has really brought this in already with kids, and she says it's been absolutely incredible. I'm going to be doing a podcast episode with her, so you'll be able to hear her story. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I'm just gonna remove the pin here. Oh my goodness. And Ariana's future self was absolutely ecstatic. She was like bouncing with joy because we were finally doing what we came here to do. I love it. I love it. And that's the fun thing. We can access so much of that like frequency that just allows everything else to feel easy because we're like, oh, I've already done this. So it's kind of funny. I actually brought you through a combo. I have two certifications, as I mentioned. We work with the elements in Gaia and the business structures and systems in the Transformational Journey Facilitator in the Transformational Journey Facilitator training, just like it's called. It used to be called Creation Coach, though, which was not as clear. And the second certification I have with my modality does more of the like future time traveling, mastery path, energy work stuff, where we learn how to meet and merge with future selves and be like guides for past selves and work in very cool cosmic or like really neat ways with all of these different things and learn how to follow the flow of energy and be like psychic AF. And that's a 4 month certification. So there are people who have started in my evolutionary alchemy magic one who are continuing on to do a whole year with me. So like Rosie and Ariana and some other people who have done both. There's just so much that I love teaching other people to do for other people so we can ripple out the magic so everyone can feel this. Like that is how I am shifting the frequency of humanity and helping them embody that. Sonika said, for me, it highlighted how much lighter my future self is. She uses systems as support, not for perfection. This was amazing. Yeah, I know so many of us feel those systems and structures as heavy because the old paradigms ones were. The new paradigm is using the divine union of your flow and your vibes, your essence, and supporting it with the systems and structures that like, contain it in a way that feels useful. So, I've heard people say like, oh, I don't build containers in my business because I don't want to contain anyone. I want them to be limitless. You know what happens with uncontained, limitless potential? It's everything and nothing all at once. That's the quantum field unmanifest. In order to manifest in the 3D realm, we need containment. Like this jar is currently containing water to make it useful to me. If it was not contained, it would be a puddle on my floor. And then I'm going to be lapping it up. No, like that's not useful. You want to make more money in your business. You want to create more magic for your clients. You need to learn how to work with containment, with the systems and structures, with that actual earth realm. Earth is a container for our boundless infinite spirit, and it is a rule that basically limitations inspire creativity, right? When you are limited, then you think outside of the box and you're like, what else is possible? So I love to teach the very galactic-y, magic-y, star-seedy, etheric, earth angel people, who are the ones that are drawn to my work, how to actually make things happen in this 3D reality. So we're not just off in the spirit land, which we can visit, but then bring that cosmic magic down to earth to make something real with it, to help people and help yourself have more fun. Oh, mm. Yeah. Oh, Nicole's saying, I got that I'd help families with autistic kids in the future, which is interesting, but it's further down the road. Got to support my own autistic kid first. Another nudge towards homeschooling, more personal stuff coming through because that's what's needed for the next steps in my business. Yeah, absolutely. And when I teach, and if you work with me, if you're coming into the certification or you apply and you join us, the application is just to make sure it's a good fit for where you are in your business and in your life so we can really fly with it. um, we do the personal work first so you can be deeply embodied, so that means you get to learn how to access the earth magic of creation for you first. We tap into everything from working with the elements in astrology and your own natal chart to creation energy itself, to your mission, to your values, to your soul dreams, and bring all that into focus. And then we also teach you how to facilitate groups with it, and then also how to bring it into one-on-one containers and coaching. All, and even though it sounds all separate, like it all overlaps, but it's really life-changing to learn this stuff for you. And I need you to learn it first for you if you're coming to work in my world, so that you are the living example of it. And you can also, with your marketing and messaging, be absolutely so sure that this is so powerful that you can like bring it into your work for other people. So whether or not you are coming to work and learn in the Transformational Journey Facilitator program, or you feel like a mastermind with me is the next step to not learn what I do, but to use it for you, you can reach out about that particular step. I have the Magical AF Mastermind. But for those who want to learn how to do this, the certification is so fun, and it has the business alchemy part where, like I said, we help you build this into your unique expression. And also, the other piece is if you're not going to come with me, I need you to get just as obsessed and just as confident and just as secure in the work that you do so that you can go and share it with the world, because you are here, you could feel it, to be that lighthouse leader. And I don't need everybody to do what I do. I'm just supposed to share it with more people because it's magical AF. And some people I'm here to train, some people I'm here to just help with their own unique stuff that they are doing. Both are amazing. And for some of you, this might not be the right path for you, but I'm so grateful that you spent a bit of time here, because Gaia will still want to work with you. Please connect with her. On day one's worksheet, again, I had a couple of those magical uh, meditations where you can connect with her and work with her. That is my gift to you. If you come with me into the certification, I'm going to teach you how to do all of that so that you can teach other people too. And that is also magical AF. we are going to have the Pearl of Wisdom marketing class that will take more of this magic and bring it down to earth in really tangible ways on Saturday. You can still join us. I'll put the link in the group if it's not there already. And also, the prizes drawn on Thursday will be one last touch point for us to play. But this has been so divine and so fun. I want to open it up. We have about 10 minutes left. First off, to win prizes, sharing in the group, share it with your friends. I've seen people be very quiet. Please feel free to share your takeaways and what your experience was to get those points. And you have to do it in the group. I'm afraid if you shared here, copy paste, put it in the group. Otherwise, it won't count towards the prizes because that just makes it easier for me, honestly. Um, what I was going to say is we have time for some questions if you have any. Um, the application form for the Transformational Journey Facilitator program, by the way, will so just you can either put your hand up or you can let me know if you've got some questions in the chat. But just to give you a little bit more information about the certification, we'll drop the application page, which has all of the info, pricing, things like that. You can do it for as low as $333 a month in terms of payment plans. There's also the two certifications you could do to spend a whole year with me, or you could just do the one that we have tapped into today with the elemental magic. And what else was I going to say? It is best serving people who already have energy work and modalities under their belt. If you are a complete beginner and you haven't done sessions with other people, it's a bigger climb for you. It's not that you can't, and it's not that your application would be denied. It's really for the person who knows that they are here to share transformation with the world and you're wanting to go deeper. The people who get the best results, though, already have some things, modalities behind them. We have in, like I said, massage therapists, business strategists, coaches, ecstatic dance facilitators, Reiki practitioners, hypnotherapists, people who do SRT, people who do somatics, doulas, subconscious reprogramming. like there's no like what you have to be, but you have to be having that call to be that elemental wisdom keeper who is here to reconnect people with the divine magic that's inside them. Photographers too, yes, exactly. People who want to facilitate retreats, workshops, work with that one-on-one more ethically, and all of that too. There's just so much fun stuff we can do. Ariana's so excited because the Evolutionary Alchemy program was pure magic. Can't wait for the Transformational Journey Facilitator. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. It's very like one is my cosmic soul magic, and the other one is like the earth-based magic. So you can facilitate elevated one-on-one pieces. Basically, like it's all magic, but real magic, divine magic, not Santa Claus is coming down your chimney magic, but like real stuff that you can use to make your life better in every way. And you already have magic in you. I'm not convincing you of that. You already know that. What we do is elevate it, and you need the mastery and mentorship to hold it safely and profitably. I want you to have the skill set. So imposter syndrome is not a thing because we work step by step to make sure you've got the skills and you can build the business without feeling the ick, right? Your work deserves that level of mastery. And I work with people who are so committed to their craft, to their mastery, that they're willing to do the personal work and embody it as and shed all the old shit and turn it into gold so that they can be this illuminated light in the world and help light the world up as we're going through this crazy evolution. And you deserve to be fully supported in that mission, right? This is where I get to, if you come with me into the certification or join a membership or mastermind or anything like that, I get to walk beside you so you can facilitate that level of transformation that changes lives powerfully but also safely, right? With that divine guidance. So if your soul feels that, fuck yeah, and you got that in our energetic activation, this is your next sacred step. Like I said, applications are open now. And if you have questions, I am here and available on the Q&A day. Next Thursday, we can have more discussions if you have questions that come up. My message box on Facebook is always open, or you can email me. So many ways to get a hold of me. Um, okay. So Nika had this question earlier. If I want to answer here, I would love to. Exactly my question. Not always what they expect, but always what they need. How to justify this when you're selling an offer. And again, when the program is done, where they may not have gotten what they wanted, but they received what they need. I totally understand that sometimes people don't know what they need. And I have, for many years, sold people what they want and given them what they need on the back end. So every like workshop, every class, everything that I'm doing, it's actually about restoring people's divine connection and getting into their truth and their power and basically restoring the divine flow so they can be the divine light that they are. Most people don't know that they need that or that they're missing that. So I'll sell them something that I know they want that I can deliver. So I bring the two together. So I have activate your soul voice with light language courses. I have activate your intuition courses. I have other pieces around like going beyond manifestation, other things like that. I can help you build your business. I can help you be a facilitator. All of that I will deliver. So I say, like, we should deliver something that they do want that we know we can give them if they're the right person and they follow the steps of the program, right? So I always am delivering to the correct person. If my marketing sucks and I'm bringing in people who aren't ready or available, then they're not going to get what they need. If my marketing is on point and I'm bringing in the people who are ready and available for this work, they are going to get what they want. They're going to learn that, but then I also give them what they need, right? So there's the dichotomy about like, ooh, what if they don't get what they wanted, but they get what they need is I think you need the skill sets to give them what they want and not market to something that you can't deliver. And that's where having the systems and the structures come in is knowing that if somebody walks through this process with you and they're the right person, they are going to get what you need and you have that confidence and clarity in it. So it's a combo of all of the things we talked about, the marketing and messaging, your clarity on who you're here to serve, and your processes that walk them through. And yeah, that is just how I have done that. And there's a lot of nuance to this and what have you, but I don't promise things I can't deliver to the right person, right? But there's a lot of learning and growth edge in how to speak to people and how not to overpromise. But um, we do speak in marketing to the highest outcome possible, but then we also have to call in the person who can get that as opposed to just anyone. That's where the disconnect is. A lot of people in their marketing are not talking to the right people who are ready to do the thing, or they're overpromising and under delivering. We want to kind of do the opposite. In my world, I will under promise what people are going to get, and they're going to like learn how to activate their light language or build a business. But what they actually needed was this complete restoration of their divine connection that's going to fuel them and bring wholeness and all of that stuff. And they'll weep with the fact that they have now this feeling they didn't know they were missing. Yeah, they don't know they need that. They didn't know they needed it, but they got it. So that's how I like to play that. Um, yeah, such a good question. I love it. And again, I love all of this stuff so much. Let's talk business. Let's talk magic. Let's talk being abundant AF. Let's talk about freedom. Let's talk about, you know, being a person who's responsible for many things and, like relationships and being a parent and also running a business. Let's be able to bring it all together into wholeness. This is what we do in my world. If you're in the certifications, you also get access to my membership, which you can join without being in the certification. But the membership is where you can ask me anything in the Q&A, but there's also a vast vault of resources to be more magical, live in the frequency of abundance and possibility, and do all kinds of magical stuff. So that is where we get the support for the students and the certifications for all of the other life stuff that comes up, because it does. Life's real hard, and I want people to have that divine support and connection in all of the ways. So I'm excited to see people who are joining us for the Sacred Pearl on Saturday and everybody else for the prizes on Thursday. This has been so divine, so much fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to be done, but I want to respect all of our time. But again, I could talk about this for weeks, days, like forever. Can you feel how much I love it? How confident I am in the fact that it is life changing? I want you to have that level of confidence and clarity about the ability that you have to transform people so that your soulmate clients feel it and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, they can help me. And I know they can because they've got that you can just feel it. It's an embodiment. That is what we work on here as well. The embodiment, the soul embodiment of your light and your power and your magic, so you can be abundant AF and light up the world. Mm. Sending you so much love. Can't wait to see your applications, and we'll talk soon.